This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Your guardian, you hear me? Your guardian of the First Amendment, and we will exercise that right today and every day. Radical Radio, and we stand tall as the Patriot. Good Monday morning to everyone. I even hope my enemies had a good weekend. My political enemies, of course. We're going to take care of our housekeeping. We've got everything. We're going to talk about Bear Civic. We're going to talk about Alvin. I call him Sugar Britches, but now the newspaper is copied after me one more time. They call him the Duck. And we'll get into that. We've got a lot of information that we need to talk about. Feel free to call if you can get in. We are America's voice of freedom. The Patriot, toll free, 1-888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. American Legion Post 1937. Their mouse races coming up, I guess, this Saturday, September the 5th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Races start at 7. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call the Vice Commander, Jim Markham, at 558-7006. Saturday and Sunday, September the 5th and 6th, the Millstadt Homecoming, their Labor Day weekend. That's this Saturday and Sunday. Always a great time in Millstadt. Saturday, the live music will be Pony Up. Sunday, the Old Salt Union. They're going to have foosball tournaments, carnival rides, always the best in food, barbecue, fish, and adult beverages. It's sponsored by the Millstadt Commercial Club, the great guys out at the Millstadt Commercial Club. So if you can make it out to Millstadt this weekend at Liederkranz Park, September the 5th and 6th, I guarantee you'll have a good time. Trivia night for the Masons, Saturday, September the 26th. Doors open at 6, games start at 7:15. It'll be held at the Franklin Lodge number 25 at 1513 Washington Avenue in Alton, Illinois. Here's the 10th annual Olivia Schultz Memorial Golf Classic. This lady, or this young kid, beautiful young baby, died from sudden infant death syndrome. And they're promoting education and awareness to help raise funds for the research. It's going to be Saturday, September the 19th, 12 p.m., 12 noon, 1 o'clock for the shotgun start. It's going to be at the Woodland Golf Tournament in Alton, Illinois. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Steve or Debbie Schultz at 618-651-9292. And Steve and Debbie, I sincerely appreciate all you're trying to do for the legacy of your daughter, and I hope everybody else does. Says Wayne Ferris, said, Bob, love your show, love the country music. You guys are doing a great job. I have a friend, I'll call him Joe Slapnuts. He said Joe Slapnuts is a big supporter of Mark Pussyboy Eckert, the mayor of Belleville. I think from now on I'm going to have to call him Joe Pussyboy Slapnuts, or maybe even Minimus Vaginas, because he's only 5'2". Wayne Ferris from St. Charles, thank you very much, buddy. On this date, August the 31st, 1886, Jack the Ripper killed his first victim, Marianne Nichols, in London's East End. On this date, August the 31st, 1964, California officially became the most populated state in the United States. On this date, August the 31st, 1975, Teamster Union leader Jimmy Hoffa was officially reported missing. On this date, August the 31st, 1997, Diana, Prince of Wales, tragically died in a car wreck. That's what happened on this date, August the 31st, throughout all these years in our world's history. Got a little more housekeeping to do. I want to salute Richard Mark. He's the president of Ameren UE, a very proud black man that I'm fortunate enough to call my friend. We had talked about DeWitt donating some money for the burial of that 9-year-old lady, that beautiful little 9-year-old child. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call her a lady yet. She didn't have the time to grow up. And I think that leaked out. Now, I know this didn't leak out because I've got this from a confidential source. And I wasn't going to say anything about it because they asked me not to, but I feel compelled that Richard Marks, he writes a check, and I know he didn't want anybody to know, and he's probably going to be pissed off, but I think people that do good things ought to be acknowledged. And if they want to be acknowledged, fine, but don't say you don't want to when you do. I know Richard Mark, the president of Ameren, Illinois, didn't want to be acknowledged, but this guy, this true American, this proud black, and I shouldn't say black man, we always have to distinguish black and white because all of the racial problems, but this proud man, Richard Mark from Ameren UE, the president of Ameren, Illinois, I'm sorry, I keep saying Ameren UE, he donated $2,500 of his own money to Crime Stoppers for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person who shot and killed this 9-year-old innocent child in Ferguson. You know, they took her life while she was in her bed trying to do her homework. Richard Mark, he asked the Crime Stoppers again not to give his name out, but I found out, and I want to say, Richard Marks, what a great gesture from a great man. And I want to salute you, Rich Marks, for being not only a great person, but a great American. Again, thank you very much. Another cop gunned down, murdered in cold blood. This is from John, no last name. It's about time that these gutless anti-police politicians and judges grow some balls and quit giving these worthless bastards free range to do what they want. I say tie the son of a bitches to a chair and play a little Russian roulette. Let the scumbags count the clicks before the big bang. John, I agree with you 1,000%. Scott Meinhardt, he's the chief of police in New Baden, Illinois. He sent me this email. A local businessman, Marvin Spath, I guess, S-P-A-E-T-H. He's a veteran, and he's owner of Spath Welding. For the last 3 or 4 summers, and I've driven through New Baden, for the last 3 or 4 summers, he's been trying to improve the cemetery, the memorial to all the veterans at their cemetery right on the main street. He said he's now erected a 20-foot tall, hand-laid stone tower surrounded by the names of all the veterans from New Baden. If you have the opportunity, the chief asked me to stop and take a quick look and walk around. I've been there, Chief, and I appreciate, and I will come back. He has never asked for any publicity, but I think you would find this project quite worthy. Chief of Police Scott Meinhardt from the great little town of New Baden. And, Chief, thank you very much. And Marvin Spath, I hope I'm getting it right. We salute you, Marvin, on being a true patriot and a great American. Thank you very much. Nancy Brower, she says, thanks for putting on the classic country on KQQZ. I listen to you all the time. Love the show. Love the local radio. Hope you keep up the good work. I want to say Dominic Arogan moved from Peru a few years ago. Loves the show. Loves what we're doing. So, Dominic, thank you very much. Gentleman here, GM, Brad, I won't give his last name. Loves the music, loves the show. Wish we would come to Wentzville because the town is so corrupt and whatever design the town has is legitimately dumb. A bunch of ignorant, stupid, rotten bastards in Wentzville. So, hey, we may come out that way if we ever get time, Brad. So thank you very much. And I think that's about the only place we got to go. You can pick us up. iTunes, you can type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming at insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling. You can like us on Facebook, and please do at KZQZ 1430 AM for the best in our golden oldies, our sister station, or right here at KQQZ 1190 AM. You can also hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. And now, every Monday through Friday at the stroke of midnight, I will be broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every Monday through Friday. I was asked and honored to be a judge out at the Backyard Barbecue Shrimp and Grill Festival in New Athens. And Chad, thank you very much. We were out there, had a great time in New Athens, and I think what's going to happen every year, that's going to get bigger and bigger. They had 6 bands, and what a great time. We got a great reception out there. Roger Cook, and the radio station, and I just want to thank all you good people, Chad, and the group from the new Kaskaskia River House. It's at the old marina. I guess Chad and his family, or Chad and friends, have bought it, and it's Kaskaskia River House now. Great time. You people need to get out that way, right on the Kaskaskia. Great food, a great bunch of people. Want to say before we get into the heavy politics, we are KQQZ 1190 AM is the new home for the University of Illinois Fighting Illini football. We have partnered with the University of Illinois to become part of their family, their sports family. We will be broadcasting all of the University of Illinois football and basketball games. We're the only station in the area to provide broadcasting for the University of Illinois. We're proud of that. We're proud to be teaming up with the Fighting Illini, and we're going to bring it to you right here on the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM. Got one more email from a pretty lady, Jessica from Cahokia. I've got here sent, it's a total amount due, $110 for grass cutting services. It says, make check payable to the city of Belleville. If payment is not received within 30 days, there'll be a lien put on the property. I want to know what alderman or what politician lives at 704 Carolyn Street in Belleville. Somebody got to call me. They can do it off the air. And I don't know, I say I don't know if that's Janet Schmidt, but that address sure sounds familiar. Somebody call me and tell me who lives at 704 Caroline Street in Belleville, because they had grass cutting that they didn't pay for, and I guess they finally did. But whoever lives at 704, I think is kind of a deadbeat, but somebody call me and give me who lives at 704 Caroline Street in Belleville, Illinois. I want to say before we get going, don't buy any lottery tickets. What the hell's wrong? What the hell's wrong? This guy had a lottery winning of $250,000, people, from Chicago, and the state is reneging on paying. They don't have the money. Well, I say if you don't have the money, state, and that's because of Madigan, Cullerton, the state Senate guy, that's because of all these rotten bastards, and I got to say Democrats, because they're the ones that have been doing all the damage to the state of Illinois the last 10, 15 years. This gentleman won $250,000, and he can't get his money from the state of Illinois. What deadbeats these politicians have made this once great state of Illinois. And I ask, how can the state of Illinois sell? It's a scam. It's a fraud. You let me or you sell something, and somebody say, hey, I paid for it, I want it. Well, I'm not going to give it to you. They'd have the Attorney General all up our asses. Hey, Attorney General Madigan, who's also a Democrat, where the hell are you at in all this? I say they've got this state in such poor financial dire straits. I'm saying shut the lottery down. Yes, it'll make it worse in the state, but I'm not for anybody getting okey-fadoke. I'm not for anybody getting financially scammed. And because of the Democratic culture of corruption in Springfield and St. Clair County, because they're one and the same, they can't get their money for their lottery tickets. Do you people understand that? You at least figure the state, when they owe you something, you're going to get it. Because when we owe them something, they're going to get it. Or if they don't get it, we're going to get it. And you know what I mean. Why do we have to pay our bills to the state? Why do we have to pay state income tax? Why do we have to pay state sales tax when these rotten bastards in Springfield, you know why? State representatives, state senators, Senator Foghorn, I say Buckwheat Claiborne, and we're going to get into him. These bastards are making $80, $90, $100,000 a year. They're making good benefits, big pensions, 85% on a part-time job, and they want to know why the state of Illinois is broke? People, we have to wise up. This crap's got to stop, and I'm going to get on Eddie the Gerbil, and I may run for state representative against Eddie the Gerbil Jackson, and if I do, I can't promise I'll lower your taxes. I can't promise you that I'll lower the crime rate. I'll try, but I can't promise you. I can't promise you there'll be better schools, but what I can promise you, I'll go to Springfield and I'll get all these stupid, crazy, ignorant son of a bitches off their ass. If we have to expose them like we expose people down here, we'll do that. I'm tired of this political correct crap. But the state of Illinois, apparently some of the biggest deadbeats around, they want our money, but they're not going to give us theirs. And when I say theirs, it's not theirs, it's ours. I was sent a letter, and everybody in the 114th State Representative District that Eddie Jackson is the state rep at this time, he sends out a propaganda sheet, and if you guys have gotten it, and you'll get it from others, it says, paid for by authority of the state of Illinois. It used to have paid for at taxpayers' expense, but these politicians know 2016 is going to be a bad year. So they've taken that off. And you can see Eddie the Gerbil Jackson, state representative, in great big letters. But paid for or authorized, it don't even say paid for by taxpayers anymore. They got slick. The state politicians got slick. It says authorized by the state of Illinois. 30,000 copies sent out. I guess that's how many households in his district. One part of it is about veterans. One part about the elderly, one part about gun safety, one part about crime. What a slick propaganda piece. And we pay for it. And I told somebody, I said, can you believe this? They looked at it. Boy, I wonder how much it costs for postage. Postage is only part of it. It has to be prepared. It has to be printed. We as taxpayers pay for all that. We're paying for the politicians' propaganda. They call it franking privileges. I call it kiss my ass. I call it stealing money from our hard-working taxpayers of this once great state of Illinois. You people understand? They send us out the propaganda, and we pay for that crap. And at the bottom, you have to have a magnifying glass. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. When you guys get a copy, look at it. You have to have a magnifying glass, and you don't even say paid for by taxpayers' expense anymore. They're social media. If I'm elected, if I run, and if I'm elected state representative, there'll be no more franking privileges if I have anything to do with it. I've exposed it, and I'll expose it again. Get on it. Get a Facebook, a $5 Facebook. Go through, talk to your people on the media, on the social media that's free. Don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars of our money. They're spending money to send us out propaganda, political propaganda that we're paying for, and they can't, the state, I say, they can't even pay a lottery winner. You people understand what I'm talking about, and it's not going to get any better until we make it better. But I have to say to you, Eddie the Gerbil Jackson, how egregious is that for you to send out that propaganda piece? Because it's getting close to election, as everybody knows. You're sending out that propaganda piece because you're worried. All you incumbent bastards ought to be worried because 2016 is going to be a good year for the decent people and a bad year for you rotten bastards, sleazy, greasy politicians. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's by-state voice of freedom, and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station. Radical radio at its finest, and we stand tall as the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. You know, there's a presidential election coming up, and we just deal in state and local issues. We can barely handle those. We can barely change those, and we're trying. So that's why I don't talk about national issues. You can get that on CNN and Fox every evening when you get home. But someone yesterday said, hey, Romanik, you remind me of Donald Trump. You're like Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump's like me. And that's not a brag. That's a fact. I started exposing and aggravating these sleazy, greasy politicians. I started giving you the dark side over 5 years ago about these no-count deadbeats. Donald Trump, and he's doing the same thing. He started doing it about 5 months ago, and he's doing a really, really good job. But I was way, way ahead of Donald Trump on exposing all this culture of corruption in politics. So, but I want to thank the gentleman for giving me that accolade. John, read on the news. No, before we go there, deputy killed in Houston. This deputy sheriff, people, was in his squad car, got out of his squad car at a gas station where people were milling around in his uniform, starting to put gas in his car so he could patrol and protect the people of the Houston area. Some no-count, low-life, rotten bastard. And I got to say, I think he was black. Blew the deputy away for no reason at all. Now, there's a suspect arrested in killing a deputy, and it's on the briefs in the newspaper on page, not 8 or 9 like I said Friday. This one's on page 11 out of 12 pages. You know, we don't have to be in love with our police departments, our professional law enforcement community. I've told you before, everybody gets pissed when they get a ticket, and I understand that. But you got to know that these guys are out there to protect us. And the deputy gets shot, pumping gas in his squad car, in uniform. People, we have to stand behind our law enforcement. Maybe they're not perfect, but they're a lot better than the bums out there killing these policemen. And we'll talk about that some other time. But it's outrageous what the hell's going on in our great United States. I mean, there's chaos in the streets because we're not backing our law enforcement. Again, they're not perfect. They're the best we got. They're a bunch of guys that are out there, and women, trying to do the proper thing. They're not robots. Sometimes they're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're going to have to fight through it. John read on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle. And I thought about, as long as I've said that, and you know now the News Democrat is starting to pick nicknames, starting to copy after me, because I know they listen every day, like most people do. I want to apologize, I sincerely do, for that statement, because the little red peckers on the little poodles aren't as bad as John Barasivic, a piece of total crap. And I apologize to the crap, but I'm going to let it go for the time being. In the editorial for the News Democrat, boys in black coming back. 3 middle-aged white judges coming back. These guys, John Barasivic, it says, barely squeaked by the last election for his $185,000 a year job. He needed 60%. He got 62%. These guys quit. Now, you understand? They've sent their letters. They quit. And now they're going to run back for the seats they vacated, where they only need 50.1% of the vote. But here is the most important part. These bastards have scared off most young judges and most young lawyers that want to be judges. You think anybody's going to run against Barasivic and lose and then have to practice law in St. Clair County? They might as well move out of the state. Everybody knows about the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. That's why Barasivic wasn't going to run for retention because people wouldn't have had to be afraid to vote against him. This son of a bitch will make more if he retires. But you know why he's not retiring? It's not the money with that rotten bastard. It's the power. It's the prestige. And let me tell you what, John, red on the noodle like a pecker on the poodle, Chief Judge, there is no prestige in the 20th Judicial Circuit with you as their leader. Most of those judges ought to hope that you retire because you're giving everyone, and there are some professional judges, some decent people that are judges in the 20th Judicial Circuit. But John Barasiewicz, you pull them all down. And I think the people of the 20th Judicial Circuit, the people of St. Clair County, know what you're trying to do. They're circumventing the Constitution. You've heard me. These are the guys that are sworn to uphold the law, uphold the state and the federal Constitution, and they didn't do it. And then Barasiewicz says he's running for election so he can be more transparent. He could have made that a social issue, all the problems at the courthouse. And may I remind you, the problems at the courthouse are the ones that were done, that happened under his leadership or lack of leadership. It says about a new associate judge. They threw a cocaine party that killed the new guy, the new associate judges. Are the people that were getting drugs from the probation department, the same probation department that John Barasiewicz, the chief judge, is responsible for. Barasiewicz, you're the problem. People, you understand me. Barasiewicz's the problem, and he's going to try to flip the script and say, well, I want to run for election so I can tell people what's going on, what's bad about it, and do something. No, you should have done something about it 10 years ago, Barasiewicz. You should have done something about it 20 years ago when you were state's attorney, 20 years plus when you were county board chairman. You're just a recycled piece of political crap, Barasiewicz. You know it, and now you want your son? And I guess his son and father could run. They have the authority to do that. They have the right to do that in this great country. But when you got one piece of crap that you stepped on, you don't want to step on another piece of crap. And that's what you get with the Barasiewicz. And then in the sound offs, I mean, they're chewing him up. They're chewing Barasiewicz up. Barasiewicz family. I'd like an article about Chief Judge John Barasiewicz drawing about $200,000 a year. His brother, a janitor at the courthouse. His brother, a janitor at the courthouse, guarantees making $68. And guess what? BJ Blowjob Barasiewicz is a public defender. And now he wants to be a congressman. And it says in the article, his brother, Dennis Barasiewicz, gets money from Fairview Heights. Don't these Barasiewicz know how to do anything but suck? And you hear what I say, suck at the political trough, taking the money of our hardworking taxpayers? What's wrong? Hey, Barasiewicz, get a life. We can't support you son of a bitches for the rest of your lives. I know you're going to try. And the article here says, I don't know one Barasiewicz or Barasiewicz's family that isn't on the payroll of either the county or the state payroll. Now, he had a beautiful aunt who worked for the county. See, nobody knows all this inbreeding. Nobody knows about all this inbreeding. But you go up there and try to get a job in the public defender's office like Blue Job Barasiewicz did. You think you'll get it? Hell no, you won't get it. Because you're not a Barasiewicz. You're not one of the chosen few. Here's another article. Judge Lasheen, Barasiewicz, and Hayda should be forced, and I agree with this writer, should be forced to run for retention as opposed to election. These politicians have destroyed all of our lives. They should reap the consequences of the lives they have destroyed. They know they can't win for retention because they've done such a horrible political job, these no-good judges. They're not fair to the people who come before them, and they're not fair to the other judges. There is no justice in St. Clair County with these guys on the bench. And I have to say, especially John Barasiewicz, because, see, he is the chief judge. He's in charge of the debacle that happened at the courthouse. He's in charge of everything with these judges. And now he's going to run for election, and he's going to throw his whole party under the bus. That's what these bastards do, people. They'll eat their own. To survive, they'll eat their own. But Barasiewicz, I think this is going to backfire on you. I just hope there's some candidates that run against you. But people, I've been around the political setting for 50 years in St. Clair County. These no good son of a bitches will threaten, will intimidate. They'll do whatever they have to do, politically, of course, to keep people from running against them. There's a lot of young lawyers who would like to be a judge, would like to run. But if they lose to Barra Civic, if they lose to the democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County, you know what's going to happen. These bastards up here, this culture of corruption keeps us from being able to vote for some young lawyers coming up, some decent people who are not associated with the political setting in St. Clair County, who would give us a fair shake, all of us. No, they want to keep all this stuff in-house, all this inbreeding in the 20th Judicial Circuit. And Barra Civic, you got the guts? You'll talk crap in the taverns, talk crap here. Give me a call, Chief Judge John Red on the Noodle, like a pecker on a poodle, Barra Civic. I'm right here. Give me a call, toll free, you cheap bastard. 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. You're running for election now. There's not the canon of ethics for a judge, sitting judge. You're no longer a sitting judge. You're retiring now. You're going to run for office. The petitions come out tomorrow. You're going to run. So you have no excuse for not coming on the air, you little sawed-off, greasy bastard. But I guarantee you he won't show up. But he wants to be the judge again. You ain't got the guts. You ain't got the guts to be the janitor at the courthouse, you no-count rotten bastard. Ain't got the guts, and I'm calling you out, Chief Judge John Red on the Noodle, like a pecker on a poodle. You people understand what's going on? I think you do. You listen to me. I'll give you the dark side. That's where we're on the dark side. I'll give you the way it really is. You won't get it anywhere else but here. We've got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, but I got a question. If these judges resign, who's going to be the acting judges? Is the governor going to appoint judges in to take their places?
Hey, Gary, what I get from some constitutional lawyers in Springfield that I deal with on this situation, that their term is not up until the end of November. So they're still there. It's like, hey, I'm retiring, and I'm giving you my notice that I'm retiring at the end of November. But they have to give it to the state Supreme Court by the last part of August, so people will know that there are vacancies. But Gary, I agree with. Where do you live, Gary?
In Missouri.
Missouri. What do you think about this crap? And I know the crap goes on over there, but these judges, this ignorant bastard Barra Civic, and I know him quite well, that he wants to run for election so he can be transparent. Do you believe one iota of that crap that he's trying to shove down the voters' throats here in St. Clair County?
Well, if he wants to be transparent, why can't he do it now?
Gary, thank you very much. Gary from St. Louis, you need to come over here. You're an intelligent gentleman. Thanks for listening, Gary. Thanks for the call. You heard Gary. Exactly right. He could be transparent, but now he can really be transparent. He's like Amika Ustinka Jackson, the new mayor of East St. Louis. Of the past administration, there was theft going on, mismanagement, malfeasance. This ignorant bitch was part of that. I guess she was in a political coma. I guess Barra Civic's going to be in a political coma. Barra Civic, you're not going to pull a wool over the people's eyes of the 20th Judicial Circuit. The people of St. Clair County, they found you out. They're tired of you. I just hope there's some decent candidates run for judge, because we need to get rid of these bastards that just recycle. In Barra Civic, you've made enough money from the taxpayers, the hardworking taxpayers of St. Clair County. Give it up, will you? Give it up. You're like my buddy Rick Stone. Guy had a fundraiser. Everybody says he's not running for coroner. I hope he does, because there's enough. We're going to expose him. We want him indicted if he runs, and we're going to demand Brendan Kelly. And I really, Rick Stone, I wish you the best health-wise, but they say he's on oxygen, and I feel for him. My son's not in the best of shape. I feel for somebody that has problems. But Rick, damn it, retire, will you, buddy? You don't need to die in office. Take whatever little time you've got left, and I don't have much more, I don't think. Take that time and enjoy your family. Don't subject the voters of St. Clair County to another 4 years of an inept service, of unprofessional conduct. Do that. Do a favor to the people who have supported you for the last 30 years, Rick Stone. Retire. Retire with what little honor you still have left. And I do. I hope you live to be 100, Rick, so I can aggravate you for another 30 years. Take care of yourself health-wise, Rick. But politically, of course, you're dead. You know, it's amazing that these guys, they want to die in office. You can't die in office. This is public service. You give what you can give for 1 term, 2 term, maybe 3 terms. But then you move on. You let somebody else have the opportunity with new ideas. And there's none of us perfect. If I run for state rep, I've been in federal prison. I've been a chief of police. I've been an instructor in law enforcement. I'm not perfect. I'm far from being perfect. But I don't think any of us are. But give everybody the opportunity. I may be a no good, rotten son of a bitch, but I got some good ideas. Guy sitting up there at the courthouse may be the best guys in the world, but you don't vote people because they're good guys. You vote people who are going to do something for you, your community, going to do something to let your families have a decent way of life. It's not a personality contest. It's not a Miss America contest. It's a contest of survival. You hear me, people? A contest for survival. We got some more callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Keep up the good work. You're talking about the cesspool of St. Clair County. Hellhole corruption.
Thank you very much. You heard the gentleman. Keep up the good work. Talking about the cesspool. That's a good word. The cesspool of St. Clair County. Bear Civic, we're going to be on your ass tomorrow. We're going to be on your ass every day. And once again, I'm calling you out, Bear Civic. Now you can be transparent. That's what you want. You're going to run for election. You're going to run for election. You ain't pull the wool over nobody's eyes, you ignorant bastard. We're not stupid. It pisses me off. It pisses off the people of St. Clair County for you to think we're that stupid. You're running for election because you scrawny little punk ass. You can't win. You can't win retention. And that's what the state constitution says, that you'll run for retention with 3/5 majority. That's 60%. But no, not you, John Barasivic, Chief Judge John Barasivic, red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle. Hell no, you don't have to, because he's a Barasivic. Barasivic, my ass. And by the way, Barasivic, kiss my white, hairy, stinky, rotten, wrinkled ass. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Before we get ranting and raving again, I want to welcome back Cahokia Motors as a sponsor. Dennis Fultz and all of our friends out of Cahokia Motors in Cahokia, Illinois, right there on Route 157, Camp Jackson. Dennis, thank you guys very much for the loyalty, the sponsorship, and you guys want a good used vehicle. They'll work with you on financing. Great people. They take care of any problems you have, mechanical problems. So you guys need to get out to Cahokia Motors in Cahokia, Illinois on Route 157. I don't have the exact address, but you can look in the book. So Dennis Fultz and all of our friends at Cahokia Motors, thank you very much. Also, I want to put a special thanks out to Steve White-Earp Wigington, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Illinois. He was on my show last Thursday. What a great response. The calls we had, the letters, the faxes, the emails. And most of it was a great show with a great man. Steve White-Earp Wigington, he wanted to be transparent, and he was. He told us things we didn't know, and that's what we need in our public servants. We need transparency, And all of us in the Southern District of Illinois want to thank you, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Illinois, Steve Weiderp-Wigington, for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit with us and to give us the information that we needed, that we deserve as Americans. Again, thank you very much. I want to go to the St. Clair County Parks Department real quick. Awards granted, $637,000. And see, here's the way these rotten bastards are. They're taking our money, giving it back to us, and now it's election time, so we're going to get it. New Athens gets so much money. Millstadt, $30,000. Freeburg. And then this little bitch, Herbie the Hemorrhoid Simmons, and I'm surprised he's still alive. I don't know how he can breathe being so far up Mark Sweet Cakes Kern's ass, but Herbie Simmons, not only is he the director of 911 with a high school education, and I don't want to shart anybody if they only had the opportunity to get a high school education, but I'm not going to let you fly my plane. You're not qualified to fly my plane. And Herb the Hemorrhoid Simmons, the unillustrious mayor of East Carondelet, you're not qualified to be the 911 director, but you are. And then also I read, all the St. Clair County parks have been funded multiple times, Simmons said. Simmons, the head of the grants department. You know, Herb Simmons, kiss my ass. You wouldn't have a job if it wouldn't be all up Kern's ass. You got let go from MedStar Ambulance, and you were so far up Kern's ass, he had to get you a job so he could sit down. He had to get you a job so he could sit down. But you see this Herb Simmons. Herb Simmons says he serves as the chairman of the Parks Grant Commission. Hey, Herbie the Hemorrhoid, you ain't doing none of us a favor when you give you and your rotten bastard political scumbag friends give Dupo $25,000 for a park drainage. Allerton so much. Centerville. What are you talking about, Simmons? You're recycling our hard-working taxpayers' dollar, you idiot. Herb Simmons, the St. Clair County Grants Commissioner. Well, you take that chairman title and shove it up your ass. But that's the only reason that Mark Sweet Cakes Kern gave you a job so he could sit down comfortably because your head, what the man don't kiss somebody's ass to get a job, Herbie the Hemorrhoid Simmons? And you got a problem, give me a call. I know your grandson was working. I don't know what your other son's been working at, but I hear we're going to be finding out a lot more about Herb Simmons in the very near future. Herb, put your name out there, and you know what? That's what's going to happen. Also, tomorrow we're going to talk about we're being sued in St. Clair County because the county won't give our show where Charlie Suarez or any of our elected officials have a surety bond. So now we're going to get sued, and it's going to cost us thousands and thousands of our hardworking taxpayers' dollars. Of course, these attorneys that work for the culture of corruption, they're going to make money. I ask, why won't you, St. Clair County officials, give the surety bond to Charles Suarez? And we're going to have to talk about Cahilia Dixon Clay Hill, about her bankruptcy. People say she can't be bonded. There's no blanket bond. We're going to get on that tomorrow. Mayor Parks. Now they're calling him the Duck. And the Duck says that the agents just happened to come by and give a subpoena for all the records at City Hall. They call him the Duck, the lame duck. That's Mayor Parks. And everybody throughout this great United States has seen what debacle has happened there in East St. Louis. It's made the Associated Press. You don't think the FBI and all the proper authorities are watching you people down in East St. Louis? You know they are. And that's just another part, people, of the culture of corruption that's associated with St. Clair County, because all the politicians down in East St. Louis, they're part of the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee. But Mayor Parks, you got ate up in the paper, too. What a piece of crap. They're calling you everything but a black man. And I think the black community is happy about that because they don't even want to identify with you, you rotten piece of crap. Now you're the city manager, Parks. You should be giving me a call and explaining yourself. Now, if it's something that you like, you will. But, Parks, how can you get up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, the people of East St. Louis voted me out, but we connived our way back, and now I have more power, more money than I did before? You good people in East St. Louis, you see what I talk about. These bastards recycle themselves. Aren't we tired of that? It's not a black-white thing. It's a wrong or right thing, and it's wrong. It's wrong with these son of a bitchin' politicians in St. Clair County. The Democratic culture of corruption. They tell you, you got to vote Democrat because you're black. I say to the proud black community, if you don't get what you want from the Democrats, vote for the Republicans, vote for the independents. Don't vote because they tell you how to vote so they and their family can get high-paying jobs with pensions. Vote what's best for you. Don't let them give you the old okey-fadoke. That just shows how much these politicians all throughout St. Clair County disrespect all of us. But Parks, we don't have enough time today, but we're going to come after your black stinky ass tomorrow. I won't say black because black people are proud. The proud black community come after your plantation Negro ass because that's all you deserve. And Claiborne, what are you trying to do? All this crap that you're trying to pull in East St. Louis and through the state of Illinois. I don't want to pay for your girlfriends, Claiborne. One of your lady friends that you gave a job to, and we're going to talk about her tomorrow, Mrs. Rush on the Prison Review Board who's filed bankruptcy. There's 2 or 3 others. I think you guys on the Prison Review Board, you guys ought to be in prison. You'd be closer to your office. But Claiborne, what a conflict of interest. He's a city attorney, helps handle the liquor license. He's the attorney for the Arabs who have liquor license. He's a state senator who votes on the liquor license. Then he's the attorney for the Arabs who have the state liquor license and the local liquor license. He gives his lady friend a job, the one up in Springfield, the Department of Transportation. She gets mad, apparently, shows pictures of him and her down in Jamaica. He gets Rush a job. She's seen coming out of his house. You know, Claiborne, my personal opinion, that's illegal as hell. That's official misconduct in my book. I believe it's official misconduct. You can't use your office for personal gains. And what better personal gains than get somebody a job and then have a girlfriend or a lady friend or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I've been told that there's been several other people that Claiborne has gotten jobs for and just happened to take out. I guess they're out celebrating. But Claiborne, people are watching you. Your ass is in the fire, and I don't think it's going to come out without being burnt. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest. And we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. We'll continue beating the hell out of these rotten bastard politicians that have beat the hell out of us for the last 20, 30, 40 years. Politicians, wake up. Us decent people, not us perfect people, because there are none, but us decent people, we're coming after you in 2016. You've been exposed. The people have listened to everything that I put out on the dark side, and we're going to continue to expose you rotten bastards, so stay tuned. There's a whole hell of a lot more coming. These guys will be exposed, and I think the good people, not just in St. Clair County, not just in the 20th Judicial Circuit, but all throughout the state of Illinois and Missouri, they have finally realized that these bastards are all alike. And over in the Missouri side, you guys unite. You can do the same thing. We may be coming that way in the near future. Madison County, we're definitely coming your way. Let's all unite, the decent people, not the perfect, but the decent people. Let's unite so we can expose these no-count, greasy, sleazy, political, parasitical, perverted punks we call politicians. Let's expose them. Let's drag them over the political coals of hell time and time again until we weaken them, push them to the edge, then push them over the edge, destroy them forever, push them over the political edge, of course, and destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.